I'm Kim Kimbrough, founder and owner of Kimbrough Law. I want to talk to you about taxes. I'm a tax lawyer. And I just wonder, I know that the average people are clueless about taxes. And why? It's complicated. I did a lot of studying to learn about it. It's not something that you just pick up a book and learn it. It's not a do-it-yourself project. You have to get education. You have to have experience. When it comes to estate planning, why do people need to think about taxes? You know, there's a tax cloud over everybody. I'll give you an example of something that worked with me. I had some children who came to see me to deal with their father's estate. He owned some bank stock. He had paid $50,000 for it, and it was worth $800,000. And they asked me what we ought to do with that. Well, what he paid for it, the $50,000, is his tax basis, but it's worth $800,000, and if they sold it, they would have $750,000 in capital gains. And that would cost them about $250,000 in tax, real money. So what we did is we told them, don't sell it, just make sure that they put it in a trust, an irrevocable trust, and we put certain provisions in the trust such that they can wait until the father dies and they will get a new tax basis for the property, which will be the fair market value at the time of the value. And if it's still at $800,000, then they can sell the stock with no tax on it. And we have just saved them $250,000 in real money. Here's another thing that we did. This is the same sons. The father had given them his home. He had spent $50,000 on his home, gave it to the children. You know, people do that so often. I just give everything to my kids. They don't realize what that does with the tax situation. So in that situation, here are the kids. He had bought that house for $50,000, and it was worth $800,000. If they were to sell it, same problem. They have a tax bill on capital gains of $750,000. So I had them to transfer the property, the home, back to the father, and then have him put the home in the same trust I was talking about. They did that, and they held it until his death. And at the time of his death, they got a new tax basis for that too. So that saved them another $250,000. So we had saved them $500,000 by just making those small changes. But just to know the right time to sell, and just make sure you should own the property. So how do you find out about that? You really have to find a tax lawyer. And I'm going to tell you, not just any lawyer. You have to have somebody who is a tax lawyer, and there are not a lot of us around here. I would suggest that you should not go to your financial advisor to tell you about that, because most of them don't really understand it. They just don't know tax law. And most likely not a CPA, because typically they are not planners. Typically what they do, they take the numbers that you have already created so they can put on a return or financial statement. But they're not really interested in planning for the future. At any rate, if you have any interest in taking care of your tax situation, just come see us. We can certainly help you.